For Alif Yamangil, food has always been a central part of her life. Growing up abroad in Turkey, meals connected her busy family together around the kitchen table, and the sweet indulgences here and there were something to look forward to. Yamangil has always had a sweet tooth, and living in Turkey, desserts such as baklava, Turkish delight, and fresh apricots and figs were commonplace. While Yamangil loved her home country, she had dreams of living abroad, so studied hard to get accepted into a top-tier program.
I did pretty well in college. I got into a PhD program at Harvard, and it came with a scholarship. So my family didn't have the means to send me to Harvard, but that way I just kind of made it out of Turkey and ended up in this amazing Cambridge, Massachusetts environment.
Yamangil spent 7 years in Cambridge doing research and publishing papers, and earned her PhD in computer science. Looking back, she remembers how being so busy at school sometimes led her to not always making the best food choices. She'd often choose convenience over her health. However, it was during that time that she became more mindful of how the bad food she ate made her feel lethargic, tired, and bloated.
I've always worked out a lot and exercised, but I don't think I ate the best. I wasn't that mindful of how much sugar makes me crash in the afternoon, how much sugar makes me really jittery first thing in the morning, etc. So I think during my PhD, I didn't really have means to do a lot of baking back then, but I started thinking more about my diet.
After wrapping up her PhD at Harvard, she accepted an engineering role at Google, and today has her hands full juggling work, being a new mom to a toddler, and managing her growing baking blog, Plenty Sweet, which features easy-to-make low-calorie and low-sugar desserts. Among the recipes are one-bowl vegan brownies with a gooey center and melted chocolate chips on top, or easy blueberry oatmeal sheet pancakes that round out at 100 calories and 4 grams of sugar per serving.
I'm kind of a lazy baker. I will not go and shop for rare ingredients unless I really, really want to make something. It kind of annoys me a little bit when I see really tasty looking brownies, but then there's a sheet of 20 ingredients and things you have to measure really precisely, like half a teaspoon of this or tablespoon and a half of that. I just want people to have basic 1/4 cup measurement and just dump 3, 4, 5 things into a bowl, mix it, bake it. It tastes great.
All of her handcrafted recipes are under 200 calories per serving and are low in sugar, often using fruits instead of loads of added sugar to sweeten the treat. Yamangil also switches out traditional fillers for healthier alternatives like whole wheat flour, nut butters, applesauce, plain Greek yogurt, or sweet potatoes to add in more protein and fiber, keeping you fuller for longer.
We basically have a really balanced snack, like a snack that doesn't necessarily have to give us a huge insulin spike and a crash. So you can eat a cookie with your breakfast yogurt or milk and not necessarily feel really terrible at 10:30, 11 a.m. because it has all this good nutrition from the fruit and the vegetable and not so much added sugar and some fiber, some protein, some healthy fats to keep us satiated.
And the math whiz in her is always calculating the breakdown of calories and nutritional content in each recipe.
I'm always churning numbers in my head, thinking about recipes and their nutritional info and how much sugar they have, how many calories, how much protein, how much fiber.
Yamangil isn't the only cook to take on this quest to redefine recipes and cut sugar. Jennifer Tyler Lee is an acclaimed cookbook author and recently co-authored the cookbook, Half the Sugar, All the Love. She says that, on average, Americans are consuming 3 times more sugar than the recommended daily limit. Common grocery items, such as bread, yogurt, breakfast bars, and granola, are all sneaky places where sugar can hide. Even if you check nutrition labels, it can still be confusing to understand the ingredient breakdown, especially when companies switch out granulated sugar for sugar substitutes like stevia.
Stevia is 200 to 400 times sweeter than sugar. And when you consume it, it tells the sweet center in your brain that sugar is coming. But when your blood glucose level doesn't go up with it, your body gets confused, and you may end up craving more sugar as a result of it. So really, this takes us back to the answer is fiber-rich fruits and vegetables are the keys to sweetening with less added sugar.
And what about more natural sources like honey or syrup, which is perceived to be healthier?
Honey, maple syrup, date syrup, molasses, agave, all of those are added sugars, just like granulated sugar. So we need to be increasing fruits and vegetables. And the good part of those fruits and vegetables is the fiber that's packed inside. So there are a lot of misconceptions. So it's great that people are more aware of the problem, but we still need to educate and then give families, ways to live with less sugar in a way that's sustainable.
Creating recipes that make cooking from scratch quick and easy for everyone is the end goal. Lee says that it doesn't have to be a complete lifestyle change, but it can start with something as simple as switching out your store-bought dressing for homemade.
It doesn't have to be hard. You can make that creamy poppy seed dressing with pear in your blender in 2 minutes, and that's going to make a big impact because the dressing that you'd buy from the store, that package has 18 teaspoons of added sugar inside. So make the dressing this week. Again, 2 minutes in your blender. Throw the pears in with some Dijon mustard, a little bit of white wine vinegar. That thing comes together in 2 minutes. And it's a dressing that you can use throughout the week. So it can be used for salads, but it can also be used as a marinade, and it can be used as a dip. So you've done one thing for yourself that only takes a couple of minutes, but that serves you well throughout the week.
You can still be healthy without sacrificing taste, but it's important to be selective and keep moderation in mind. Yamangil is no stranger to finding this balance. During her first pregnancy, which was full of ups and downs and hormonal changes, she gained more than 40 pounds.
Toward the end, I was not immobilized, but just feeling pretty bad. And after delivery, it was kind of liberating because I didn't have to support another human in my body, and I could go back to, I wasn't pregnant anymore. I didn't have the pregnant hormonal makeup anymore, so I could go back to my previous healthy eating, previous exercise routine to shed this weight that I had put on. And I think we put a lot of pressure on people, women, to be a certain way, but I think sameness is very overrated. Like, we're all very different. And at the end of the day, you just want a happy and healthy mom, happy, healthy child. And there are very different ways to get to the same goal.
As a new mom who was also trying to get back to her normal exercise routine and diet, Yamangil became frustrated with the lack of healthy dessert options out there. Unwilling to compromise, she started tinkering with her own low-calorie, low-sugar creations.
I did lose it by sticking to my usual routine of eating as healthy as I can and basically eating sweets every day, because I do not think that sweets should necessarily be not part of a healthy diet. So I was searching the internet for just healthy recipes, and I'm always baking. And one time I made these banana bars, I want to say from the Well Plated blog, which is an amazing blog, told an inspiration. And I made them, and they were really healthy. They're mostly sweetened with bananas and use healthy flours, healthy oil. So I put cocoa powder in there, and they came out these wonderful brownies, moist, fudgy, just slightly cakey, but not too cakey. Like, you wouldn't call them chocolate cake. They are brownies. And the cocoa powder overrides the banana taste. In my opinion, some people said that they taste a little bit banana-ish. So I made these and I posted them on Reddit, and they went viral. So many people made them. One person even took this recipe on Reddit and made, I want to say, 9 or 10 versions of it.
From this positive experience on Reddit, she decided to build on her hobby. And that's how her blog was born.
So my friends and family started encouraging me, saying, oh, you need to start a little something, you need to claim these recipes. And then I started considering taking better photos and compiling my recipes.
Today, as a full-time working mom, she's a pro at creating variations of current items to make them gluten-free or vegan, and also inventing fun new recipes. Each Sunday, she dedicates the afternoon to mixing up healthy snacks for her family in under an hour that last throughout the week.
My Sundays are taken by meal prep. I need to make lunch boxes. I need to make sure we have breakfast and lunch and dinner for the week. And if I'm going to meal prep some cookies or muffins or something like that on Sunday, I just want it to come together in like one bowl, 30 minutes, including baking time, and then I'm done and lunchbox snacks are ready.
Whether you're looking for healthier options for your family, looking to shed some winter weight, or just hoping to avoid the afternoon sugar crash, everyone has a different starting point when it comes to changing habits. Cutting sugar doesn't have to mean big restrictive cuts and pushing your sweet tooth into exile. You just have to be more mindful of what you're putting in your body.
I love sweets. I think a diet doesn't necessarily just serve your body. It should also kind of serve your mind. And if I can't have a little something to look forward to during my days, it's just kind of not almost worth being fit for. And the great thing is like we don't really have to choose. We don't have to be like, oh, I'm either going to be really fit or I'm going to have desserts and not be fit.
To find out more about this topic and our guests Alif Yamangil and Jennifer Tyler Lee, visit viewpointsradio.org. This segment originally aired in February 2020 and was written and produced by Amira Zaveri. Our studio manager is Jason Dickey. I'm Marty Peterson.